Ooh, that was heated. People got a little hot up in here.
Because you talking about the president like he can't say nothing.
No, for real. But get in on this conversation, 804-447-0601.
I see what he's saying.
What's the next question?
All right. Gentlemen, we'll start with Marcus J first. What in the world is happening to R&B music? There is not much good R&B music out there. We have like 3 people.
Who?
John Legend.
Okay.
Every once in a while he comes out with an album. He just comes out with a new album. We have Melanie Fiona with her 4 a.m. track, which is really hot, by the way. I'm not trying to publicize it, but it's
And the
really
third?
hot. In the third, I don't even know.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, back in the 90s, we had all sorts of groups and people. Now we got nothing.
He wants me to start off, and I'm glad he did because I feel passionate about this. I had this conversation with people all the time. A big part of it is, and I kind of have to be crass to make my point. Sorry, Ma. I got to be, Mom, I know you're listening. I got to be crass to make my point.
Okay.
As much as we like to see her with nothing on,
Right.
it's always better when she got a little bit on.
I see what you're saying.
Because it gives you an opportunity to let your mind do a lot of the work for you.
A.K.A. Tony Braxton.
When you had songs in the 70s and the 80s and even the early 90s to that degree, groups like Boyz II Men and things like that, they did a lot of their seduction and they were slick with their words.
Right.
And I think you had groups like Jodeci and then later on with R. Kelly and Jagged Edge and up until now where, you know, they're coming right out with it. I want to sex you up. You know what I mean? And you're not given an opportunity to use your mind and fall in love that way. Anytime you come right out with it, you take a little bit away. You can't give it all away on the first date. You give it all away on the first date, you got nothing to look forward to in the future. And I think if you take your time with your songs and you seduce the person that's listening to you, male or female, you have a better opportunity to have your songs, your music last beyond just the current music cycle.
Make it last forever.
Oh, I mean, I feel you, Ruben, because having Christian in the car with me, I had to censor the music. I may like the song. It may appeal to a certain area of me, but then I'm thinking, dang it, backseat passenger, I ain't ready for this yet. I really am not. I mean, there are no good quote-unquote love songs out there. There's no good R&B. I love Kim. Kim is my man. All right?
Yeah.
I like, what's my man? Alan Thicke? Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke. I about to say Alan.
Alan Thicke's his daddy.
Yeah, Alan's the daddy. I like them. Okay?
I like that. Hold
Paula
on. I
Patton,
want my nickname to be Thick.
But, you know, it's one of those things that I have to watch what I listen to. You know, I don't care. I don't want to know if the neighbors know your name. I really don't. Because I'm trying to listen.
All right. Let me let Grizz speak on this for a little bit. Gentlemen, if you had a talent, let's say, Rube, your talent is you got a nice singing voice, right? Let's say you came up in the church, First Shiloh or Petersburg or whatever, you know, and A&R rep from some major record label say, you know what, I want to sign you to this record label for a 6-figure deal for 3 years. You put out 3 albums once a year. You're making 500 G's. You coming from meager beginnings. Now, you have no creative control over the music that you're going to sing. People are writing songs for you. You got video directors that's going to tell you how they want to see you in the video. What you going to do about that? You going to say, oh, no, I'm not going to do it?
In this day and age, I would say no because it's more cost effective to make your own music,
right,
stuff like that. Now, I agree to a point that it's all about money.
It's selling.
However, you know this thing called integrity, we seem to have lost that. And if it's not R&B music, good R&B music, then
there's a market for good. There's a market for good R&B music. You can look at, for example, some of the artists you said today, a Melanie Fiona, a Kim. There's a market out there for that. It's just not getting as much market as a Trey Songz or a Chris Brown is.
And that Chris Brown album is horrible.
But all right. Big Rube said the Chris Brown album is horrible. Okay, who's won more? Who's selling more albums, Kim or Chris Brown? Take it away, Marcus J.
We got a hit on the Facebook page. Mike is listening to us in Newark, New Jersey. Thanks for listening, Mike. I appreciate it. Radio is the death of good music. Plenty of good music out there. Just doesn't get any radio play. Same thing going on with hip hop. Grizzy, pick up on Mike's point.
Here's what I'll say about Mike. You got Sirius Radio, you got XM, you got music downloads. You're going to have to listen to the radio. The reason why, first of all, radio is run by corporations, and there's not that many media corporations putting out radio these days. It's maybe 3 or 4, and you're going to hear the same thing on every channel. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. I'm just saying there's other venues. Big Rube said you can go, if you're an artist and you don't want to go the major label route, you can go and be an independent artist, have more creative control over what you put out there. If it's good, you have a market for it. I'm almost like a Republican when it comes to entertainment, being that I'm an aspiring entertainer myself. You know, if the market is there for it, go out there and stick with it and put it out there. If it's trash, if you come out with all this hype, but you're only selling 25,000 copies on iTunes, there's a reason for that.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank you so much to everybody that's listening. Mr. A, I see you. Thank you for listening. We got a bunch of people in Maryland, in Atlanta, and D.C. and Delaware. We see y'all on the fan page. We see your notes. We appreciate the support. Feel free to hit us up on the Facebook page, on my personal page, on Big Rube J. Grizzy Carlton Banks' personal page. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. On Facebook, 804-447-0601 to get in on the discussion.
All right. Next topic. You know, I put this on my fan page a couple weeks ago, and they didn't get any burned, so I'm going to bring it up now.
You have a fan page?
Yeah, my fan page. My Facebook.
Big Rube has a fan page. People like him.
I got it.
We don't like
We don't like him, but he got a fan page. Get out of here.
Haters. Now, you know, as far as us, black people, goes, when athletic-wise, when are we going to take the next step? You know, with all this maneuvering around, with all this maneuvering around in college sports,
Right.
different colleges going to different conferences and all that, the HBCUs are sticking together. Now, I applaud that. However, there's no money going into HBCUs, I feel, because of it.
Okay.
When is it time for us to step up and say, look, we are profitable and possible to make a move up with the other colleges?
All right, I'm
you
gonna take
call them
this one
Caucasian colleges, you call them what you want, but
Big state university.
unfortunately, I feel like we are leaving ourselves behind, and it's time for us to step up and make ourselves prevalent. You know, and with Norfolk State had huge gains this year. They went to NCAA playoffs in football. They won a game in NCAA basketball. The other sports are doing pretty well in the MEAC. Has Norfolk State outgrown the MEAC? Has other black colleges such as Hampton outgrown the historically black college universities? Conferences. Talk on it. Grizz, you can start.
All right,
Actually, you know, I'm going to let Banks start.
All right.
Since he went to a HBCU. I'm curious to hear his opinion.
First of all, you have HBCUs that have been around as long, if not longer, than the ACC. The CIAA is as big a conference as the ACC.
The tournament
has a tournament as big as the ACC. So you know what? I could care less about HBCU going to the next level. They don't need to. The money is there for them. Okay. Yeah, the HBCUs don't get the scholarship players like some of these other schools do. But you know what? We still have talent. Okay, and that's what matters. That's what controls the popularity of a school, how they run. If they go to these big conferences, dude, they'll get killed.
The band budget bigger than the football budget.
In some cases, except for FAMU, which is going through some turmoil now.
Yeah.
But you also look at the fact that you have these Division I AA schools that when they do play, they will play you tough. I will say this much. I watched Norfolk State play West Virginia. They had them beat in the first half. Second half was a totally different story. Okay? Norfolk State was just tired. Okay? What? Yes.
Okay.
You didn't see the game like
All
I
right,
saw the
guys.
game.
Here's what I say about that. It was in the news, I think, this week at Alcorn State, Steve McNair's university alumni, former quarterback of Baltimore. They hired their first white coach, and Alcorn State was is a HBCU in the SWAC. Is the second white coach?
No, you good.
Oh, okay.
Somebody walked in behind you. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and so here's what I say about that. I mean, I think in the near future, you're going to see a couple of HBCUs, Rube, go to a mid-majors type of level, but the financial backing is not there as such as a Big Ten or ACC basketball-wise, a Big Ten football-wise, because and then I go back to Carlton's point, it has a niche. If that audience is not being reached, that kid that couldn't get into let's say a Ohio State, or he didn't have the right connections or the right AAU coach to get in Ohio State, naturally is going to fall into HBCU, and that's talent that's untapped. I mean, you could use Earl of Pearl,
Right.
Winston-Salem State, small school. A lot of colleges, back in the day, they had scouts to come and just pick off. The AFL was known for it back in the 60s with their football players. Willie Lanier, Willie Lanier went to Union or State.
I want to say, I don't know.
Okay. Here's my point is that I think I hear what you're saying, because you think it will elevate the play or elevate the conference in a way, but
elevate us.
For me,
no, I don't think we have to be. I don't think it has to be the same. We don't have to match those big schools. Go ahead, Mark.
For me, it's not a us thing. It's a matter of the financial backing.
Exactly.
A lot of the HBCUs don't have it, which is the reason why you don't see them on the national scale performing. Does that mean that the individual players don't have the skills that they may have in the big schools, in the schools that you hear of, in your Kentuckys and your Dukes and your North Carolinas? On an individual basis, nah, of course they have the same skills, but on a team basis, probably not, simply because of the financial backings that they don't, that they may not be able to amass. Now, how do we fix that? I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it beyond this conversation. But I'll be honest with you, I'm more concerned with the academics that they would be able to produce if they're able to compete on that level. I think that would be more important. You do on occasion see a basketball player come out of these types of schools. You had Moses Malone, came out of Petersburg, Virginia. He came straight out of high school. It's not HBCU, but he did come straight out of high school. You had somebody like Ben Wallace and Charles Oakley, who both came from Virginia Union University, which is my alma mater. So I suppose it's possible, but my opinion is that it has a lot to do with the finances and how much money can they recruit. Are they able to go into some of the neighborhoods and compete with with the larger schools for the same talent? If they did have the money to do it,
can they get their hands dirty?
If they had the money to do it, Grizz, then so be it. If not, then I think it'll probably stay the way it is.
Okay. I'm not going to get into that right now. I have my
You
own
differ.
opinion. No, I mean I do, but that's beyond the point.